You've made it this far. Welcome to the last modules of the Freedom Ticket 4.0. There's a lot of supplemental material now. You've been listening to me talk for the last 12 hours or so about all the things that you need to know around selling on Amazon. I know I'll go pretty quick, so maybe you got to go back through and watch it again. Hopefully you've been taking a lot of notes. But there's also a lot of really good content to make sure you check out besides just me speaking here, where they're going into the details and showing you step by step on how to do things. So make sure you don't just listen to me. You watch all the additional content that's in each of these modules, as well as some of the bonus content. And I'd also like to encourage you to actually show up for the live webinars that we do every single month for Freedom Ticket, because we'll be bringing additional things that are happening right now, new ways to find products, new ways to find keywords to rank on, what's happening with the Amazon and all the AI changes. What are some cool ways to source? All the latest, greatest stuff will be in those webinars, and you want to be on those live every month. So make sure you're checking your email and the groups and the forums for notices from Helium 10 and when those are occurring. And also there's some bonus stuff that we created for you down below, another 10 or 15 modules on how to create package inserts, how to do some other stuff on your shipping, how to do a lot of other things. So make sure you check out that stuff as well. But before we go on this one, I just want to give you a few just random thoughts and random things to help you out. Just things that kind of didn't fit somewhere else that are important that I think you need to know. You know, one of the biggest ways you can actually make money, more money on Amazon, it's not really make money, it's actually get the money that you're owed, is by using something like Refund Genie. Amazon will oftentimes mess up. They'll lose things, they'll damage stuff. Customers will say they're going to return something, and Amazon gives the customer their money back or their credit, but the customer never returns it, and Amazon never takes the money back from the customer. Well, that's kind of wrong. I mean, you shouldn't be penalized for that. So they'll take the money from you when they give the money to the customer never sends the item back, and so they never give you the money back. Or they'll damage something, they'll misplace something. Sometimes this can add up to a lot of money. The general rule of thumb is about 3%. So if you're doing $1 million a year in sales, roughly there's going to be shrinkage or loss of around 30 grand on average. And Amazon won't automatically give you this money back. If they damage something, occasionally you'll get an email that says, "Oh, we're sorry, we're giving you a reimbursement." But 9 times out of 10, they don't do that. They're just so big. So there's companies out there that specialize in going in and finding these errors. There's about 18 different major categories and a lot of minor categories that they will check and see if Amazon owes you money. Refund Genie will do this within Helium 10. You can use it for free. Get some of the basics. It shows you how to write the email, to open up the ticket and everything to send in to Seller Central. So I recommend you first use Refund Genie to get as much as you can yourself with no charge, and then use MRS, Helium 10's new service, where they actually have humans that will go in and actually try to take it to the next level. There is a small fee for that, so you want to use Refund Genie first, but then use the MRS service in Helium 10 to actually try to get even more. This can add up to real money, especially if you've been selling for a while. But there is a window, a look-back window. It depends on the type of claim. So this is something you need to stay on top of monthly and not let this slide for a couple years, or you'll be leaving some money on the table. I know somebody, a friend of mine, that recovered over $1 million. They're a big seller and they had never done this, and they had a company they used Refund Genie to capture about $600,000-700,000 of money that was owed to them back, and then they had the humans go in and actually find the other $300,000. It's real money, and not only does it help you cash flow right now, but it helps you when you go to sell the company because it adds to your profits. So remember earlier we talked about a multiple of 2.5 to 5x maybe. If you get $1 million back that's actually owed to you from Amazon, that goes straight to the bottom line, and that could be worth $2.5 to $5 million when you sell. So it's not just that money; it's a big chunk of change. So make sure you stay on top of those kind of things. Also monitor the Q&As on your listings. Customers will sometimes write a Q&A, a question, and Amazon will send something out that says, can you help answer this question? Johnny has just asked this. Can you help answer this question? They'll usually send it to you as the brand owner, and they'll also usually send it to 2 or 3 other random customers that they think might be able to help them. you want to always try to go in and answer those yourself. And the reason you want to do that is because you can put keywords in there. So you can put things in there that will help you rank or help state your cause or sell your product even more. Answer the question, but try to write it in such a way that you can get some extra keywords and some extra phrases in there, because all that stuff is picked up by the AI and by the indexing on Amazon. You can also, in your Q&A section, you can actually use companies like Answer the Public and go, if you're selling yoga mats, you can go type the word yoga mat at answerthepublic.com, and it'll tell you all the questions that people are asking all throughout the internet about yoga mats. You know, they'll say, what is the proper thickness of a yoga mat might be one of the questions. And then what you can do is you can have one of your friends or someone go in and ask that question on your listing on Amazon if you're selling yoga mats, and then you answer the question. Even, you know, however it may apply to your, try to apply it to your yoga mat the best you can. Put some keywords in there. But what does that do is that the question of how
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ Thailand, từ trên Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem thêm thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
What's the best thickness for yoga mats is something people are searching for on Google in that exact phrase order. So because you have that as a Q&A on Amazon, Amazon has a high relevancy score with Google, and they see that exact phrase on a Q&A on your listing on Amazon. Google might rank that pretty high in the top of the search on Google, and so people are going to click that and they're going to be taken to your listing. So it's a great way to SEO and to get extra traffic over the long term by having that section filled out. Make sure you watch your return rates. Return rates, if you go above 5%, you're going to probably get in some trouble. Unless you're selling clothing or something with lots of sizes, or that has just in general has a high return rate. Clothing can be 30-40%. But if you go above 5%, it varies by category that you're selling in, but typically Amazon's going to have an issue. So make sure you keep that return rate down. And that's one of the other reasons I said earlier is maybe just tell people don't return something to you. I'll just send you a replacement. Don't return it. It helps keep that rate down. If you do have a high return rate, you're going to want to see why. You want to dig into this. Why do I have this high return rate? What's going on? And fix it. If Amazon suspends you, you're going to have to create one of those POAs. A lot of times, depending on the level of the suspension, you can just tell them what you're going to do, and they'll turn the listing right back on without you actually doing what you say you're going to do. I've had that happen where they said someone's complaining about the dryness of 3D fiber lash mascara. I was selling 3D fiber lash mascara for women, and it comes in two different tubes. One of them's a dry powder, and one of them's like a liquid. Well, women were getting it, not ever knowing how to use the product. They never used it before, and they're like, "Oh, this one's dried out. I got an old one. It's all dried up." And so I had two people back to back did that across a couple of days. So Amazon suspended the listing, and maybe say, "Hey, you need to fix this problem." I just went in there and I just said, "Well, we'll investigate all the inventory. We changed the instructions. This is actually correct. Blah blah blah." And then Amazon put the listing back up within minutes. So a lot of times, if it's not serious, they will do that. They just want you to acknowledge the problem, but stay on top of that stuff. Remember, Amazon checks your pricing on other platforms, so be conscious of if you're selling somewhere else that you don't sell cheaper. These rules may change. There's some government legislation going on where Amazon might not be allowed to do this anymore. But as of right now, when we're recording this, they still are checking prices on using algorithms to check prices on other sites. And if you're selling cheaper on Target or Walmart or even on your own website, they will actually suppress your buy box on Amazon, which can hurt your conversions. So you always want to make sure that the Amazon price is either the lowest or it's equal to the lowest that's out there. Just try to maintain consistent pricing as much as you can. There's a lot of other tools and ways to actually find cool products to sell on Amazon. So what I've done is right below, I've invited Tomer. He's one of the top guys in the space. He's based in Israel, to come in and actually show you how to actually find additional opportunities on Amazon, how to figure out, one of the biggest issues is if someone's selling products and there's lots of variations, where is the opportunity in these variations? Which one of these should I go? Should I actually launch the red one? Should I launch the black one? What should I do? And he's got a really cool methodology to actually figure that out. Now, Tomer is super smart. He runs his own events, but the Cerebro tool from Helium 10 is basically because of him. He was at an event in Amsterdam in 2018, and the CTO of Helium 10 came to the event and saw Tomer present some presentation with a bunch of spreadsheets about how he was doing this reverse matching and figured out all these keywords based on a cross set of ASINs and stuff. And the CTO said, hey, that's a really good idea. Why don't we automate this? And so they worked together and automated the system. Now he's got another system of how to actually figure out exactly which product should you launch when you have multiple choices of different sizes or colors or variations. It's a great technique, so I want him to come on and share that with you, so be sure to check that out below. These are just a few quick little tips that I wanted to share with you. One other quick one is about newsletters. Newsletters are something that I think are a major thing that product sellers can do. It's not something you probably want to do when you first start, but once you get your feet under you, starting a newsletter for your genre, not for your brand, not here's Kevin's Pets brands, me touting my horn about all my discounts and my new products all the time. That's what most people do. They do a newsletter, it's all about me. It's all about us. Who cares about us? The customer cares about themselves. They don't care about you. And so what you want to do is you want to create something around an avatar and around a product brand or a lifestyle. Create a newsletter around that will get people highly engaged, and will have people really starting to love you. Remember that funnel, those 6 steps that I mentioned before? This is what, once you get them to that member step, and then you want to get them to that next level where they're starting to refer you, and then you just want to get them to the raving fans. This is one of the best ways to do that. It's a long-term play, but it can make a huge difference in your business. I do a bunch of training on it. There's a bonus module down below where I talk about how to actually set up a newsletter and some of the tools that you can use. But newsletters are a very powerful combination with product sellers. I believe even more so than having a Facebook group or social media channels. Those are all important. You should definitely have those. But remember, we talked about earlier, you need to get that customer onto your list. You need to know who they are and control the messaging to them. When you're running something on social media, you may make a post and you don't know who's going to see it. You have no control. You might have 5,000 followers or 10,000 people in your Facebook pets group, but you make a post, maybe only 120 of them actually even see it. But if you have a newsletter with their email address or their physical address, if you're doing physical mail, but a newsletter with their email address, you send that out, you know that 30, 40, 50, 60% of them at least opened it, and you know who clicked it. That 13, 15, 20% of the people click something in there. You know exactly what they clicked, and you can tailor messaging to them. You can help build engagement. You can help move them up that ladder to raving fans. And then when you launch your next product, bada boom, bada bing, you're straight to the top. So make sure you check out the module below where I go into a lot of detail and the techniques of doing that and why newsletters around your space, around your avatar, not around your business, should be something that you should be considering. We'll see you in the next module.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ LIệN, từ trên Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem thêm thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.